Hello, this is Advocate Mehboob, your friend and your colleague, you can say. Today is 6th of August 2020. This is the second class for All India Bar Exam, refresher course for 2020 candidates. That is for the people who are looking for, AIB 15 exam right now. Okay. So yesterday's class we had done, introductions, and we had seen about what exactly is the exam about. Today we are going to start with one topic called as Constitution of India. I would request you, friends, let us go one by one. Let us start with Miss Neeraja. What idea do you get when we are speaking about Constitution of India?
Constitution, I believe, as per my understanding, it goes that, it allows us to, understand the rights that we possess as a citizen of the India. What rights do we possess, pertaining to, our freedom or our right to the education, right to the speech, all the rights that as a citizen of India should possess, should know, towards its, mere responsible towards the country. So that's what I can circle it up and say that it's more about knowing our rights and understanding the legal services would be part of this Constitution of India.
Okay, looks good. And let us go to Mr. Bharat. Bharat, can you tell us what do you mean by Constitution of India? What ideas do you get?
Sorry, sir.
What do you mean by the Constitution of India?
తెలుగు ఓకేనా సార్?
చెప్పండి తెలుగు, అందరూ అర్థం చేసుకుంటారు.
భారత రాజ్యాంగం అనేది డాక్టర్ అంబేద్కర్ గారు ఇచ్చిన గొప్ప లైక్ ఏమంటారు వరం మనకి. అండ్ ఈజ్ సారీ అన్ని రకాల లైక్ అన్ని రకాల మతాలకి, అన్ని రకాల పీపుల్ కి, అన్ని రకాల మనుషులకి కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా అనేది ఈక్వల్ గా ఇవ్వడం జరిగింది. సో సారీ, ఐఎమ్ నాట్ ప్రిపేర్డ్.
No worries, no worries. This is not an examination. We are just taking your views. Go ahead.
Okay, sir. That's it, sir.
Okay. So let's go to Mr. Raju. Raju garu cheppandi. Constitution of India ante meeku elanti thoughts vastayi? What are your ideas about Constitution of India? Mr. Raju. Mr. Raju. Okay, Miss Kiran, go ahead, please.
According to me, constitution means it's like something where all the people, the law is there in a country which has to be followed, all the rules and responsibilities where each and every individual employs the people of India, what are their limits according to law. The law has been abandoned for the people, and this is like a democratic country where it is for the people, by the people, of the people, where everything is for people only, and each and every rule or principle of fundamental rights are written keeping the people on mind so that their rights are not been misused. That's it, I can say.
Okay, looks good. Nice. I'm just trying to make this session more interactive and good. You guys have some basic idea about the Constitution of India. So, okay, let me come to things first. So, there is a concept called civil society. Okay, there is a concept called civil society. What do you mean by civil society? Civil society is such a place where the society is matured, it is involved. Okay, there are some philosophers, there are some jurists. Okay, they have given certain theories. What are those theories? They say that once upon a time, we as humans were living in a very scattered way. Okay, so we were not having a society. Okay, some some philosophers talk about early man. Okay, so slowly, like, we developed our own societies, and so we started staying together as a group, as a colony, right? So then what happened is we started making rules for our colonies and our societies. Now there is a concept called civil society. Okay, there is a concept called civil society. So basically, what is a civil society? A civil society is such a society where there are rights for each others in a society. That is a basic concept. Now the second concept is that there is a concept of a state and a citizen. Okay, a state and a citizen. What do you mean by state? There are three general meanings for state. Number one meaning is state like Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, right? What is that? Karnataka. I was about to say Golconda, I don't know why, but Karnataka and what do you call Madhya Pradesh, these are states. So in the west, in other countries, people sometimes refer to this as province. Okay, it's about the region. Okay, so that is one meaning of state. Second meaning of state is పరిస్థితి. Okay, the situation. అతను ఏ స్టేట్ లో ఉన్నాడు అప్పుడు చూసేటప్పుడు you just ask like that, right? What state was in? He was in happy state or sad state or what state, right? So that is one. But
Right.
third, yes. Hi Bhupal, how are you? Okay. So basically, what is the third state? Third state is the powerful body, which is the powerful body which we call as the government. Okay, that is the state which we are referring in the legal and political terms. So there is a state and there is a citizen. Okay, so the state and citizen will have a relationship between them. The state and citizen will have relationship. What is the relationship? The citizen is giving away some of his freedom to the state. Okay, and the state is promising something to the citizen. The state is promising safety, security, and progress for the citizen. So maybe you have seen the subject called contracts. So in the same way, the state and citizen will have that connection or that contract, that the citizen will give the power to the state will give the protection to the citizen, and there is some relationship, right? If there is no citizen, there is no state. Now state is referred to as government at the central level or the state level. Okay, that is a simple thing. So now what is the constitution then? Constitution is the actual agreement document between the citizen and the state. So you write down the rights of the citizens, the duties and responsibilities of the state. Okay, so this is the relationship between each other, and even the duties and responsibilities of the citizen. Okay, and the powers of the state. This basic thing elaborately is being written in the constitution. Okay, so we are the citizens of India, and there is a constitution of India which we are supposed to abide by, right? So that is the constitution. Constitution is the basic contract between the citizen and the state. That is one thing. It is the mother document, it is the mother law of the country. That is one thing. It is the foundational, fundamental, rudimentary document of any nation. What do you mean by fundamental document? Basically, whatever be the rights or duties of citizens in the country on a broad basis. Okay, general ga oka document lo untadi. It is in a document. Okay, so how general is this and how specific it is? That is also a good question. So the constitution is not very specific. The constitution cannot say how to perform marriages of a particular religious group, about Hindus or Muslims or Christians. It cannot say what are the other activities in terms of rituals that can be permissible. Okay, that is not the job of the constitution. It will give you a broad perspective. Okay, general information is the constitution, right? So in that, but constitution will have its own parts. Okay, general ga acts antam, statutes antam, but ikkada acts లలో sections antam, ikkada memo articles antam. Okay, so articles are present in the constitution of India, like you have numbering, you have each part. So how many articles do you have today? We have about 470 articles. We have 470 articles. So we'll come to that. So then what are statutes? What are acts? Acts are separate laws, a collection of rules which are on a specific topic. Okay, that are called as acts or statutes. So the point is that statutes on a particular topic will elaborately talk about that particular topic. Constitution, and on a general basis, it will give you a broad perspective. We will see that now. Okay, but every specific field or topic will have its own law. What is the example? For example, our primary criminal law is Indian Penal Code, right? Our evidence law is Indian Evidence Act. For example, if we want to talk about passports, then India Passports Act is there, right? And let's say talk about women's issue, like domestic violence. You have Domestic Violence Act, right? So you have Mining Act. You have some other acts also. So that means that on a particular topic, separate acts are there. But important point is that every act should be in congruence with the constitution. Ante it should abide the constitution. If any act is going against the basic rules which are given in the Constitution of India, that act at the whole may become null and void. That is one thing. Or certain sections of that act will become null and void, right? So simply speaking, ఏదైనా కొత్తగా ఏదో యాక్ట్ తీసుకొస్తారు కదా ఒక టాపిక్ మీద, ఆ యాక్ట్లలో ఏదైనా ఒక్కొక్క సెక్షన్ లేకపోతే మొత్తానికి మొత్తం యాక్ట్ కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్ వ్యతిరేకంగా ఉంటే ఒకవేళ దాన్ని నల్ అండ్ వైడ్ డిక్లేర్ చేయాల్సిన వస్తుంది. ఓకే, సో దే హ్యావ్ టు అవాయిడ్ బై దట్. అండ్ ఆల్సో టు బి వెరీ ప్రిసైజ్, ఫండమెంటల్ రైట్స్ అని ఒక పెద్ద కాన్సెప్ట్ ఉన్నది మన కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్లో. దానికి వ్యతిరేకంగా ఏదైనా కొత్తగా స్టాచ్యూట్స్, ఏదైనా యాక్ట్స్, ఏదైనా రూల్స్, ఏదైనా ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్ డిసిజన్స్ ఉంటే అవన్నీ నల్ అండ్ వైడ్ అవుతాయి ఒకవేళ ఛాలెంజ్ చేస్తే. సో ఎనీ లా, ఎనీ స్టాచ్యూట్, ఎనీ యాక్ట్ or any executive ruling given by the government, if it's going against the fundamental rights of the Constitution of India, then that can be declared as null and void if they are being challenged. So that is the thing. So first thing, we have understood what is the need of constitution. Okay, we have seen the definition of constitution, and let us talk about Indian constitution. So number one thing is that our country is a very, very old country. It has a lot of legacy, heritage, and if we go about maybe 2000 years back, we had Ashoka. Then there were a lot of different kings. We have a lot of regions in, like, this greater India or like old India. So there were a lot of kingdoms. They were always fighting, and the kings were changing all the time. Dynasties were changing. In the south, you have this, I think, Devaraya, this thing, or you have Reddys, and there are many communities who had ruled. Krishna Devaraya, and who else? So Vijayanagara kingdom, and there were a lot of kingdoms, and other things were changing. Subsequently, about 400-500 years back, you can say, one Mughal empire came. Before that, a lot of Muslim, what do you say, warriors, I would say, they have come maybe from the last 1000-1200 years. They have come, and in certain places they established their rule. But maybe about 500 years, 600 years back, there was one dynasty, one family called as Mughal. So they actually founded, they had a very large base. Subsequently, about 300-400 years back, the British came, and they started with business, and they took over the government. They had wars, and finally they had controlled most of the Indian subcontinent. Finally, there was a revolt by the Indians, and finally British agreed to go. You can say in 1946, finally they agreed to leave India. So 45, 46 you can say. So the point is, in 1946 the making of the Constitution of India was started. Please write down this: around December 1946 the Constitution was started to be made, and in November, write down the date, November 26, 20, I'm sorry, I'm saying 20, November 26, 1949. That is 2 years, 11 months and some days is there. I'm not recalling it. Okay. Almost 3 years was taken for the Constitution of India to be made. So the point is, the the day on which the Constitution was first implemented. What do you mean by implemented? Is when we say there were a lot of articles in that Constitution, only certain limited articles were brought into effect. అంటే ఇంప్లిమెంట్ అయ్యాయి. ఎప్పుడు అయ్యాయి? 26 నవంబర్ 1949. ఆ రోజుని మేము కాన్స్టిట్యూషనల్ లా డే అంటాము, లా డే అంటాం, కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్ డే అట్లా అంటాం. సో దట్ ఈస్ celebrated. 26 November is celebrated as Constitutional Day or Law Day in India. Additionally, all the remaining articles of the Constitution were completely implemented on 26 January 1950. 26 January 1950. So we consider that day as our Republic Day because we have declared ourselves as completely a republic. Okay, so that is one important day. You can write that. So okay, so the point is, because the British decided that they are going to go away from India, we needed some constitution. ఏదైనా కొత్త కంట్రీ స్టార్ట్ చేస్తే మనకు బేసిక్ ఒక మదర్ డాక్యుమెంట్ కావాలి. మనకు ఏదైనా లాస్ తీసుకురావాలంటే వాట్ ఎవర్ లాస్ వీ వాంట్ టు మేక్, we have to bring the basic law. So that's why they started working on that. There were a lot of committees who were working on the Constitution of India, and among those committee, one committee was called as Drafting Committee. In that drafting committee, the chairman was Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. It is said in almost the big group of that committee, a lot of members were traveling to different places. Some of were ill, some of have died during that 3-year period. But it is said, okay, I think Rajagopalachari or some other member has said that a major part of the work on the Constitution was done by Baba Sahib Dr. Ambedkar. Okay, so it's a big thing. Okay, and every day, because he was the architect. He's called father of Indian Constitution. He's called architect of Indian Constitution. Because of that, every day we remember his name. Okay, the legacy of Ambedkar is alive every day. From the last 70 years, we are thankful to him for everything he has brought. Okay, so and also all the articles, when those articles are there, those ideas were debated in the mana oka Constituent Assembly ane unde 1946 lo start chesaru vallu. So they had members 46 47 lo. They used to argue just like we have today's parliament. That was a Constituent Assembly to work on the Constitution. They had debates going on. The rule pettala, tiseyala, adi atla, they had lot of debates. So all those debates are available in book form. You can read that. Okay, in parliament they are present, and I think in that debate books are also available in bookstores. If you want to buy Constituent Assembly debates, you can buy it. As a scholar, you may want to read that. Now coming back, finally the Constitution was completed. Okay, so when the Constitution was brought into force, there were how many articles? There were 395 articles, and there were 22 parts. There were 22 parts, and there were 8 schedules. What do you mean by this? What are the parts? Parts are nothing important. Basically those articles which were present, if you divide them, if you classify them into certain parts basing on their topics, then they are called as one part. Okay, for example, union and its territory, right? Citizenship, fundamental right, we will hopefully see that, right? So that was there. So there were 395 articles divided into 22 parts, and there were 8 schedules. Schedules ante enti? Schedules are additional textual document, okay, which are appended, okay, which are appended or attached after the Constitution. Simple ga cheppalante, additional information iche papers unnai, just text unnadi, అది కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్ తర్వాత ఉంటుంది. ఓకే, schedule 1, schedule 2, schedule 3 or schedule A, schedule B. So that is the thing. So there were 8 schedules. So now they have brought, they gave a provision that the constitution could be amended. The constitution could be amended. So what do you mean by amendment? If you're writing, please write. Amendment means number 1, adding new articles. Number 2, removing any article, that is called as omitting. And third thing is to change any article. Okay, these 3 things are considered to be the amendment of the constitution. Okay, so amendment of constitution is also allowed. So what happened in the last 70 years, because of a lot of changes in the government and according to the needs of the government, the constitution of India was amended. How many times? It was almost amended 104 times, 104 times, if I am not wrong, 104 times. Okay, so now how many articles are there right now? How many articles are there right now? Then the articles is said to be about 370. Okay, I have calculated it to be 369. It is 370 in terms of the present number. But what, I am sorry, it is 470. I am sorry, it is 470. I have calculated it to be 469. But there is a difference of one article. No worries. So okay, so according to the numbers of the articles, how many articles are there? There are 503 articles. 503 articles. But for your kind information, once an article is made, for example, let's say article number 45, okay, and later on it is removed, that is it is omitted, it is deleted. So ఆ 45 ని కూడా అట్లాగే పెడతాం, కానీ అక్కడ పక్కన రాస్తాం omitted. Okay, the number is kept as it is, but it is written as omitted. Okay, now so out of this 503, 34 have been omitted. 34 have been omitted. So that is the story. Next part is that how many parts are there now? So today there are almost 470 articles divided into 25 parts, and there are 12 schedules. There are 12 schedules. So this is the composition of the present day Constitution of India. Now this we have seen the basic understanding of the Constitution. Let me know what is your feedback so far? How are you following? Miss Neeraja.
Good. I think we are understanding. We're going from the scratch.
Okay.
So far, we understood the numbers, towards the articles, statutes, acts, parts. How did we arrive today in terms of the net 470 articles? How many are omitted? So I think we got a hang about it. Thanks.
Okay. So, Mr. Bharat.
Sir.
Following.
Yes, sir. Following absolutely. కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్ అసెంబ్లీలో మెంబర్స్ ఎంతమంది, కొంచెం ఒక చిన్న డౌట్ రైజ్ అయింది.
దాంట్లో ఒక నిమిషం, 299 అని ఎక్కడో చదివాను, 299 అని.
ఓకే ఓకే సార్, దట్స్ ఇట్ సార్. ఇంకా ఇంకోటి 1948 లో స్టార్ట్ అయింది సార్ ఇది కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్? లే
సార్, 1946 డిసెంబర్, ఆల్మోస్ట్ 3 years. అంటే నవంబర్ లో ఎండ్ అయ్యింది కదా, నవంబర్ 1949 లో. సో 2 years 11 months ఏదో 13 days అట్లా ఉంటది, యూ కెన్ ఫైండ్ అవుట్. సో ఆల్మోస్ట్ 3 years.
ఓకే, మనం సెర్చ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు అంటే.
yes. Okay.
Okay, sir. Everything is okay.
Okay, Miss Kiran.
Yes, sir. Everything all set. The question of Bharat, like membership while signing, it was 284 members.
484?
284.
284.
The members who signed, which was
Okay.
signed by 284 members for the Constitution.
How many members were originally in this thing?
Sorry, when the Constitution was there, it was amended, adopted. At the time, it was signed by 284 members.
Okay. let me also check.
All good, sir. Means we are going from scratch as Nirja already updated, and we are following you.
Okay. Just one
Thank you.
moment. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, I have just checked on Wikipedia. The total membership of Constituent Assembly was 389. 389 it seems, and which 292 were representatives of the states, and 93 represented the princely states, and 4 were from the chief commissioner provinces it seems. So almost 389. I we have to check more details what are there. So one thing is that certain members actually, because maybe 100 members had gone to Pakistan out of that the 389. Maybe I'll check out that. No worries. Chalo.
Yes.
So far so good, and we'll move to the next thing. Mr. Bhupal, can you hear us? Mr. Bhupal. Okay, so now let's go to, I'm sharing the screen. Please let me know if you can see this.
Yeah, we can.
So basically, this is the, what do you say, Vakil Sahab website, and we are looking at the Bare Act of Constitution of India. So what I'm trying to do is, there are many features of the Constitution. What we will do is, we will look at the very important features of the Constitution of India. Let me also, one second. Let us check the preamble. Okay. Okay, can you see this?
Yeah,
Yes.
Chalo, very
the
good.
people.
Basically, the point is, there is a concept called the preamble. Okay, there is a concept called preamble. Preamble means in every book, whichever book we write, usually there is a foreword or there is a preface. Okay, there is some brief information about a book. Okay, in about 1 or 2 or 3 pages just before the starting of the book, right? So the author, or someone who has read it, will give their opinion. So very similar to that, we have preamble as a feature of our Constitution of India. What is it? The preamble will give us the gist, the summary of all the things which are present in our Constitution, right? Which is present in our Constitution. So each word is very important. So now look at this. We look at this preamble. It says, "We the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, liberty, equality, fraternity in our Constituent Assembly this 26th day of November, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution. So the first time it was adopted, that is 26th November 1949. Okay. Okay. Can anyone tell me the meaning of sovereign? Anyone knows the meaning of sovereign?
It's actually something, what do you call, democracy?
Okay. Anyone else wants to say what sovereign? What do you mean by sovereign? Chalo, no worries. Sovereign basically means you are not living under any other country, or you are not a colony of any other country. You are not the property of any other nation. That is the meaning of sovereign. That is the meaning of sovereign. Sovereign means azad, independent. So what was the need of writing here? Can anyone tell me what was the reason? Bharat, can you tell me? Yeah, Kiran, go ahead.
Yeah, it just want to make sure that each and every means member of this country they are free birds. They are
Okay.
not working under anyone or any rule. It's just they are free, as it is a democratic country. They are free. They are free. They are like having a fundamental rights, right? They are free to express their whatever they wish and everything, and to make sure that our country or you people are not under anyone. No one is ruling above you. You are just like kings. How you are at home, you are also a member of citizen, and
Okay.
even you have your rights.
Okay. Instead, see, instead of using you, please use
It's
we,
we. Yeah,
please.
we.
So we want you to be a part of India with us. So
Yeah, it's we.
I'm pulling your leg. Okay, Miss Neerja, go ahead.
No, nothing. I'm good.
Okay, what was the need of getting this word called sovereign then?
To make aware the people.
Freedom, getting freedom, sir. Independent.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Tell me, Bharat.
Adhe, sir, independent and freedom.
Okay. Okay, Bharat's answer is actually very close to the actual the answer. The point is we have been in the previous 200 years or something, 300 years, depends how much you construe, how much was English rule and East India Company rule. That debate is there. The point is that we have been under the control of some foreigners. So you are declaring to the whole world, అది ఒక వర్డ్ కాదు, పదం కాదు, ఒక పెద్ద ఛాలెంజ్ అది. అందరికీ ఒక ఆల్మోస్ట్ 150-200 కంట్రీస్ కి చెప్తున్నాం, వీఆర్ సావరిన్, ఏం చేసుకుంటారో చేసుకోండి. ఓకే, దట్ ఈస్ అ బిగ్ వర్డ్ బీయింగ్ యూస్. ఇట్స్ నాట్ అ స్మాల్ వర్డ్. ఓకే, సావరిన్ అంటే ఇండిపెండెంట్. సో యూఆర్ డూయింగ్, యూఆర్ లివింగ్, యూఆర్ డూయింగ్ బై యువర్ సెల్ఫ్. So basically, sovereign is meaning that you are not under control of any other country. So Bharat's answer is very close, very good. What is the meaning of democratic and republic? Democratic and republic is, some philosophers have defined democracy as a system for the people, by the people, of the people. That is, people's elected representative. Okay, they are taking care of the government. Then what do you mean by republic? Any idea about republic?
Republic means law, according to law, like where we have prime minister, president, vice president, state level and central level. So we have governors,
Okay.
rules. I can say rules which has to be followed.
Okay.
And that's the reason the constitution was formed, and that's the reason 26th January is called as a Republic Day, where constitution is made and which has to be followed by the citizens.
Okay. Anyone else wants to say? Yes, Bharat, you want to add something?
సేమ్ మేడం చెప్పిందే సార్, అదే అనుకుంటున్నాను నేను కూడా.
అంటే
అంటే
ఏది
రిపబ్లిక్
ఏది
అంటే
కంట్రీలో ఏది జరిగినా కూడా అది పబ్లిక్ మ్యాటర్, అంటే పబ్లిక్ తో సంబంధించింది కాబట్టి
ఒక
ఇట్ ఈస్
వ్యవస్థలో
కన్సిడర్డ్, అంటే అది కనెక్టివిటీ ఉందన్నమాట పబ్లిక్ కి అనేసి. ఇట్స్ లైక్ పబ్లిక్ రిపబ్లిక్.
It's just like elections,
Okay.
where the people are electing the people, or electing one person and making him the head to take the decisions and everything on behalf of them.
ఇట్స్ లైక్ సెలెక్టింగ్ పబ్లిక్ సర్వెంట్స్.
Okay. Okay. So far so good. The point is that democratic is a general way where people are coming and doing. You know, people are giving power to someone. Republic is more stronger form of democratic according to my reading. Republic means the complete power is with the people. For example, to select the political heads, that is President of India, Prime Minister of India. And it is said United Kingdom is not republic. ఎందుకంటే అక్కడ క్వీన్ సుప్రీం అన్నమాట. The queen is supreme in the UK. That's why they don't call it as republic, because the queen cannot be selected by people by voting. She's already there, sitting there. వాళ్ళ మీద పైన కూర్చుని ఉన్నది. Okay. So okay, that's done. Sovereign. Okay, is there anything missing here if you're looking at this preamble? Anything missing? కొంచెం తేడాగా లేదా దీంట్లో?
ఇదివరకు ఎప్పుడైనా తెలిసేది సార్, ఇదివరకు ఎప్పుడైనా చూస్తే తెలిసేది, అప్పుడు చూస్తాం మళ్ళీ ఇప్పుడు చూస్తున్నాం.
చాలా చాలా పవర్ఫుల్ పేజ్ ఇది. ఒక్క పారాగ్రాఫ్ ఉన్నది, ఒక్క పేజ్ ఉన్నది, కానీ మొత్తం కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్ మొత్తం ఏమంటారు జిస్ట్ ఉన్నది పేజ్ లో. ఇట్ లుక్స్ లైక్ ఇట్స్ జస్ట్ వన్ సింపుల్ పేజ్, బట్ ద వర్డ్స్, ఒక్కొక్క వర్డ్ చాలా హెవీ ఉన్నది. ఇఫ్ యూ గో టు హైకోర్ట్ అండ్ సుప్రీం కోర్ట్ అండ్ ఆర్గ్యూ దేర్, ఇవన్నీ చాలా హెవీ డ్యూటీ వర్డ్స్ ఇది. సో లాట్ ఆఫ్ the rights and the complete what do you say life cycle of citizens and the state is being given here. Okay, let me tell you, two words are missing from this. This is actually the original preamble. So we told you that the Constitution of India can have amendments.
Correct.
So now two words have been added here. What were the two words?
Socialist and secular.
Good job, Miss Neeraja. Thank you so much. So two words were added in 1976, using I think it was the 42nd amendment. 1976 లో 42nd amendment లో ఇది ఇన్సర్ట్ చేశారు. What is that? Secular and socialist word. So okay, now present preamble has these two words. So what is the meaning of we understood sovereign democratic republic is understood. What is secular and what is socialist? Can you tell me? What is secular and what is socialist?
We are
Secular
a diverse country, so మనం
We respect all religions, sir.
Okay.
డిఫరెంట్ కంట్రీ, డిఫరెంట్ స్టేట్స్ అవన్నీ ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి. సో
Okay, Miss Kiran.
Yes, sir.
What is secular? What is socialist?
Socialist, it's like, I guess, society wise,
ఒక్క వర్డ్ లో
Okay.
చెప్తే ఏం అర్థం అవుతుంది మేడం? ఒక అట్లీస్ట్ ఒక 1 2
It's
సెంటెన్స్
like
చెప్పండి.
depends. Society means socialistic means where like it's for the people, like directive principles, fundamental rights. It's related to the people, society.
ఓకే, గుడ్. ఎనీవన్ ఎల్స్ వాంట్స్ టు సే?
ఇక ఇది మతానికి సంబంధించింది సార్. ఏ మతానికైనా ఇర్రెస్పెక్ట్ ఆఫ్ పీపుల్ ఎవరైనా కానీ ఏ
అది
మతానికైనా
సెక్యులరిజం సార్,
That is secularism.
అది సెక్యులరిజం అవుతుంది సార్.
ఓకే,
సో సార్ అడిగింది సోషలిస్టా?
బోత్
రెండిట్లో ఏదైనా చెప్పమన్నారు, మీరు చెప్పేది సెక్యులరిజం అని నేను అంటున్నాను, అంటే యాడ్ చేస్తున్నాను నేను.
నో వరీస్. ఎనీథింగ్ ఎల్స్? Okay, no worries. So we'll move ahead now. So the point is that secular means dictionary తీసి చూస్తే ఏదైనా మనం as a lawyers we have to go for dictionary definition first. Okay, secular means non-religious. Secular means irreligious. అంటే దాంట్లో ధర్మం ఉండదు. ఏదైనా థింగ్ సెక్యులర్ ఉంటే దాంట్లో ధర్మం ఉండదు. There would be no religion in that. When you are saying the country is secular అంటే మనం ఏదైనా డిసిజన్ తీసుకునే ముందు మనం ధర్మం నుంచి ఏదైనా క్వశ్చన్స్ ధర్మంలో ఉండే గురువులని అడిగి ఏం పని మేము చేయము. ద బేసిక్ థింగ్ ఈజ్ వెన్ యూ ఆర్ సేయింగ్ యు ఆర్ ఎ సెక్యులర్ కంట్రీ, యూ విల్ నాట్ డిపెండ్ ఆన్ ఎ పర్టికులర్ రిలీజన్ టు టేక్ ఎనీ గవర్నమెంట్స్ డిసిజన్.
ఓకే,
if you look the country of Saudi Arabia, they are calling themselves as Islamic Republic. So for many decisions they will try to look into religion. ధర్మం ఏం చెప్తున్నది అది చూసి దాని మీద వాళ్ళ పాలసీస్ ని తయారు చేస్తారు. బట్ వీఆర్ సేయింగ్ దట్ దిస్ ఇస్ ఎ సెక్యులర్ కంట్రీ. ఓకే, సెక్యులర్ మీన్స్ we will not consider any religion before taking any decision. This is meaning of secularism. So it's a big concept. Next, socialism. I think Miss Kiran was very close this time for this answer. The socialism means you are doing you're making policies to help people out of the way. Socialism ki వ్యతిరేకంగా opposite unde capitalism. Okay, capitalism is opposite of socialism. So what is the intent of capitalism is every individual person should make money, and individualism is kind of important, and the state, that is the state, the government is not so much interested to help you out of the way, right? But in a socialistic country, the government will try to give things to the citizen, maybe 2 rupees rice, 5 rupees rice, ration shops, more government hospitals, more schemes, and Arogyasri, things like that. All those things are out of the way. Government tries to give those benefits, right? In the early 1920s, 30s, 40s, Russia was a very socialistic country. Okay, so Nehru, as a a leader, as an internationalist, he had read about that, so he wanted to bring that. So you can say the socialism one what do you say insertion is through Nehru. సో అతను ఆ రష్యాలో ఉండే కాన్స్టిట్యూషనల్ వాల్యూస్తో ఇన్స్పైర్ అయ్యి ఇక్కడ సోషలిజం ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేశాడు. సో బికాస్ సోషలిజం వాజ్ ఇంప్లిమెంట్ ఫర్ సో మెనీ డికేడ్స్ ఇన్ ద ఎర్లీ ఇయర్స్, ఇట్ హెస్ బికమ్ అ పార్ట్ అండ్ పార్సల్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియన్ సిస్టమ్. ఇప్పుడు ఎవరైనా సీఎం పిఎం ఏదైనా మన ఇచ్చే బెనిఫిట్స్ ని లిమిట్ చేస్తే పీపుల్ విల్ గెట్ యాంగ్రీ. ఇఫ్ ఎనీ సీఎం పిఎం ఈస్ లిమిటింగ్ ఎనీ స్కీమ్స్, we are not going to give this, we are not going to give that. For example, for this corona issues going on in Andhra Pradesh, Mr. YSR's son, what is his name, Jagan Reddy has allowed corona patients to go get treatment through Arogyasri. In Telangana that is not allowed, so a lot of people are angry, right? But corona is just one part of one disease kada, oka general diseases, general illnesses ni chuste corona is just part of one illness, but Telangana government is not allowing that, right?
Yeah.
Hello. Okay,
Yes,
so
yeah.
that was the concept of socialism. Let's go towards next thing. So we are saying justice, social, economic, and political. So social is for a particular society or in the whole society. Economic is regarding money, and political is everyone will be given political justice. They can come before politics, or they can have the political representation. Liberty is a very big word. Okay, liberty means every person is free to do whatever he wants. Liberty of thought ante ఏదైనా ఆలోచించవచ్చు. యూ కెన్ థింక్ ఎనీ ఇన్ ఎనీ వే, ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్ ఏదైనా మాట్లాడుకోవచ్చు, అండ్ బిలీఫ్, ఫేత్ అండ్ వర్షిప్, ఏదైనా ధర్మాన్ని ఫాలో చేయొచ్చు. యూ కెన్ ఫాలో ఎనీ రిలీజన్, యూ కెన్ ఫాలో ఎనీ రిలీజన్. సో దట్ ఈస్ లిబర్టీ. Next, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all. Okay, what is equality? So treating everyone equal, wherever possible, treating everyone equal. For example, there are public places and private places. Okay, public places, one example is public jobs. Okay, if in article I think 16 or 17 it is given, if there is a public employment, uh, that is in public employment, if there are two persons who are opting for trying for job, and both of them are properly eligible, but because of some reasons one person is not selected even though he's in the merit list, that can be challenged. Okay, that comes under equality of opportunity. Okay, so there are certain articles, we'll hopefully see them. Next, fraternity, to promote fraternity. What is paternity, what is maternity? Can anyone tell, Mr. Bharat? Paternity, maternity, and what is fraternity?
Fraternity is a network. Fraternity is a group of people in a particular segment.
It's
Let's
like
say
a
if there is a
brotherhood
fraternity of lawyers.
feeling of
Okay.
brotherhood.
One by one, Ms. Mukiram. Let's
Association.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
Miss
Oh,
Neeraja.
yeah, you can.
No. Miss Neeraja, you tell me what is paternity and what is maternity or maternity.
See, maternity is a process where women, a woman would be going under pregnancy, to give birth to a new baby and all that. So that's a maternity. So that's a whole different life cycle of the process that a woman would be undergoing through. And fraternity is a group of people from one segment. Let's say a group of lawyers, we call it
Paternity.
paternity. Okay.
Paternity. Okay.
Okay. I was thinking, you were asking about fraternity. Okay. On the girls, so on a paternity side, it's like on a someone we would be calling as a fatherhood. It's a state of being a fatherhood, and more importantly, it is pertaining to a father side.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let's go to Miss Kiran. Yeah, ma'am.
Fraternity means it's like a brotherhood where if some of the people of the same country are there, for example, in the United States, there are 5 to 6 members who are from the same country, like India. So they get the brotherhood feelings sharing. That I can say that is paternity, and paternity is something like parents. I don't know about much.
Now, your answer is very close actually. I was, I get funny thoughts all the time because girls cannot have brotherhood in India. Only men can have brotherhood. So the word is there, but as you have all the places you use, he has and all. So fraternity actually means having a feeling of brotherhood amongst the citizens. So everyone should believe that each other are the citizen, but unfortunately, what, people are, they have no concern about any strangers, sometimes to their families, sometimes to their relatives and friends. So I just don't want to get into that, but yes, your answer is very close. Kiran's answer is close to that. And yes, maternity is something relating to a woman's physiology, biology, or something like that. And paternity is something relating to the fatherhood. It's some close good answers were given by Miss Neeraja. Let's move forward. And it is saying assuring the dignity of individual and unity of the nation. And okay, now in this line, okay, in the unity of the nation, one word was inserted in 1976. Any idea what was that? This line, in the after fraternity, one word, one phrase was added.
No clue from my side.
Who was this?
This was Nija.
Okay, Miss Kiran, any idea?
No, sir.
Okay, Mr. Bharat.
No idea, sir.
Okay, so I remember it is preserving the unity and integrity of the nation. Okay, so it's here it says integrity of the nation. So what do you mean by integrity? Integrity means something which is together, integrated, okay, connected. Integrity means to keep the country together as one piece. You already know there are many states in India, okay, so we want to keep it together, right? So that is the story. So this is very much important. Let me go to the next topic then. Okay, let me go to the next topic.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. The topic which I want to speak now is that topic of unitary and federal. Okay, unitary and federal. So there are many things, in the constitution, but the point is in India, as I said earlier, we had multiple regions, right? So in that regions, we had what do you call later on we had states based on linguistic basis or some other basis we had states. So in that states, today there are originally 29 states. Since last year they had broken one state and made union territories out of that, out of Jammu Kashmir. So we have about 28 states and almost I think 9 union territories. So uh, now these all states together are combining together to form one federation. Federation is like some union, okay, some union. So when these are all coming together, then it is called as India. So that's why the whole piece of India is called as Union of India. Union of India. The government which is taking care at a national level of the union is called as union government, and the state government, or the government which takes care of a particular region, province or state is called as state government. So the point is certain powers for this whole union are specifically given to the union government. Okay, those things are written in the union list, that is in the schedule of our constitution. Number two, certain powers which are given to the states are given in the state list, which is in the schedules, right? So that is called as state rules or state laws, or a state list. Okay, there is a third list called as concurrent list. Hopefully we will see in the coming classes. Concurrent list is certain laws on which both the central as well as state, or the union and the state both can make laws. That is called as concurrent list. So there are three lists: union list, state list and concurrent list. Okay, so the point about federal is that when these all states are coming together to form a federation, so this is called as federalism. Write down the definition that this is the federalism. So what are the other examples of federal state? United States of America is a very popular example of federal state. But how many states do they have? They have about 50 or 51 states. What is the difference between United States and India in terms of federalism is, in the United States, if one of the state wants to get separated from America, it is quite possible. They have that provision. బట్ కానీ ఇండియాలో ఏదైనా స్టేట్, ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్, తమిళనాడు, తెలంగాణ, ఒకవేళ ఒక స్టేట్ చెప్పింది అనుకోండి, వీ డోంట్ వాంట్ టు బి ఏ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా, వీ వాంట్ టు గెట్ సెపరేటెడ్ ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ ఫెడరేషన్ అంటే ఇది చాలా కష్టం. It is very difficult or almost impossible for any state of the Union of India to get separated. Okay, our federation is our country, our nation is strongly unitary. Unitary means one unit. Okay, there are other things about unitary and federal also. I'm just giving a very simple example of that, right? So ours is a unitary, strongly unitary. But the question can be asked: is it a unitary or is it federal state? India is a quasi-unitary and quasi-federal. Ante half unitary, half federal annachu. Okay. It also acts as unitary. It also acts as federal. Federalism untadi. Federal ante states ki kuda power untadi. Right? Right,
Okay.
guys?
Yes.
Okay. So we have seen so far. We have seen we have discussed what is a civil society. We have discussed need and what do you call definition of Constitution of India, need of Constitution, definition of Constitution. We talked about India's Constitution. We have looked into the preamble and we have looked into federalism and this thing. So I would like to stop the class now. So tomorrow, what we will do is we'll go into the this thing. If you can see this, this is the index. Okay, this is the index of the Constitution of India. We'll try to see whichever are important articles in this. There are, as we said now, almost 470 articles now. So we will try to see which articles are important. We will discuss that. We'll go through that. And this is that's it from my side. You guys want to say something from your side?
I think we really understood the basics today, and రేపు ఇంకా ఆర్టికల్స్ వాటి గురించి మీరు చెప్తా అన్నారు కదా, సో ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ గా ఉంది.
Yes. Any comments, any feedback, any suggestions?
Nothing, sir. It's really a good session that we are refreshing all the things again, once again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Mr. Bharat.
Sir, thank you so much, sir. Session చాలా బాగుంది. రేపు ఇంకా ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ ఉంటుందని నేను అనుకుంటున్నాను, సార్.
Okay, sir. I also hope so. My suggestion is ఎవరైనా మీ ఫ్రెండ్స్ లలో ఓకే AIB register అయ్యారంటే my suggestion to you is like whosoever has not submitted నా ఇన్బాక్స్ లో కొంచెం మీ AIB రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ పెట్టండి. ఓకే, ద రిక్వెస్ట్ ఎందుకు చెప్తున్నానంటే basically we are only trying to help people who are registered. నా దగ్గర almost dozens of people have come who are into final year who have also passed, they have not enrolled. Okay, so only for those people who are registering I'm taking. For some persons I have not received their registered this thing AIB copy or photo like that. Just if possible share that. There are other people also. There is one person from UP also. She could not join today. So there are some other persons. So I think Mr. Rahim and his friends Wazir and other people could not join today. So please, whoever has registered, please ask them to contact me. I'll try to join the, make them add them to the group and so that they can benefit. I have some other friends who have also not joined today. Thank you so much.
Mohammed garu, not to deviate కానీ ఇది మనకు అంటే ఐఎమ్ షూర్ భరత్ కూడా చేయించుకున్నారంట. ఇది ఎక్స్టెన్షన్ చేయించుకోవాలి అంటున్నారు. ఇస్ ఇట్ మ్యాండేటా? బికాజ్ AIB enrollment అయిపోయి ఇప్పుడు 6 months వ్యాలిడిటీ కదా, సో ఇట్స్ బియాండ్ 6 months now that we got registered అనమాట. సో ప్రాసెస్ ఏంటి అండ్ how far it is mandate for us, because again there seems to be little dicey on the dates that have come up, right? So any concreteness, do you want to share any insights on that?
Number one thing is, have you registered for AIB?
అయిపోయింది మాది అందరిది.
So that is enough for now. One. Number two, but general ga maaku every 6 months ki renewal chestar kada. They do 6 months renewal. Just call the bar council, ask them, ma'am, do you want us to come down for the renewal? What is the procedure? Telangana bar council number unnadi internet mida. Okay, so just call them, ask them. If they say no, we are closed for some time, just be silent. But if they say that okay, come down on Monday, Tuesday, something, go there. And basically the secretary madam usually just signs on that and she writes the date. That nothing important, right?
Okay,
very easy process, don't worry. Thank you so much, and I'll just end this session. Thank you so much for joining, and I enjoyed a lot in this session. Hopefully see you tomorrow then, right?
Absolutely. Thank you.
All the best. If you guys have anything which you are working on and you have any doubts you want me to speak on, please put it in our group chat so that I can try to cover it, right?
Great. Yeah,
good night.
Good night. Thank you.